Okay, so back to what I was talking about with food and stuff, food processing and whatnot. Now, when I say that it's not real, I don't mean like, oh, it's invisible. I don't mean like, oh, it's an illusion. I mean that it is genetically modified. It has been created. Man said, or human, it could have been women in there too. I don't know. I don't care. I don't know when I don't care. But, a group of people got together and went, we found this seed. We've never seen anything like this before. Let's tinker with it. And they went, let's tinker. Let's stick some of this in there. Let's stick some of that in there. Let's put these... What does this do? Hey, look, it's growing. Let's see what we can make out of this. That was a failure. Let's try again. Do. Oh, let's try again. And they kept doing it until they came out with whatever it is, that we have now. And at first, a lot of those plants, until fairly recently, a lot of those plants would produce their own seeds. And so, yes, you actually can nowadays find like orange fields and stuff that they'll keep getting, replanted based off the seeds and stuff. Now, when you're talking about government-owned land and stuff, they can't actually reproduce. Plants and stuff, a lot of modern day stuff cannot reproduce anymore. That's why there's less seeds in your bananas. Most bananas don't even have seeds anymore. All that black stuff in the center, a lot of that's gone now. It's been bred out of it on purpose. Now the banana's fake anyway. I mean, it wasn't made by nature. Nature did not create that. Humankind got in there and fiddle-fucked around with it until they created that thing. So, you get... Do you see where I'm at here? So, there's that. Now, when you're talking about people in factories, okay, how many of you have worked or work in a food processing plant or factory? Anything to do with food, packaging food, any of that kind of stuff. I don't care what it is. Shipping food, packaging food, shipping food, repairing the machines that go and make the food. Now, I don't know how many of you, your companies, should have pretty strict rules on, no makeup, no perfume, no aftershave, hell, no deodorant sometimes. I mean, because I'm telling you right here, right now, a lot of people will never know it. I unfortunately can tell when I get a, package of item X and I take a bite and it's like, this tastes like somebody's perfume. And it's just like, oh. And most people will never tell. Most people have no fucking clue because they themselves are drenched in perfume. They can't smell other people's crap. They can't even smell their own crap. Because otherwise they'd stop after less than a half of a spray. Because God, does it smell bad. And I'm telling you from personal experience, it tastes bad. Eating the perfume, aftershave, deodorant, whatever. Okay? Now, we were just eating the waffles. And, I've smoked in the past. So I can generally tell the taste. I know when somebody has smoked and then handled my food. I know it. I can smell it. I can taste it. It tastes like I just licked an ashtray. Now, these waffles have been prepackaged. Nobody's smoked in here. There's no smoke anywhere in here. And so I opened it up, plopped 3 waffles down, heated them up, slapped some butter on them, melted the butter, put it back in there for a few more seconds, melted the butter. And then we started eating. And I noticed it was like This tastes like somebody stuck their hand in an ashtray, immediately picked up the waffle and just crammed it in my mouth with ash all over it from a cigarette. It's like, but it tasted old, you know, like maybe it was an old ashtray, which means that while they were packaging it, they probably went out and smoked, came back in to finish their work without airing out their clothes or washing their hands. Now, I don't mean to scare people, but I'm telling you here and now, I know for a fact, because I've seen it, I've worked in a lot of places. I am not one of the people that do this. I'm one of the people that follow the rules to the utmost strictest because I know what it's like, you know? I've been on the shit sick end of somebody doing something retarded in a fucking factory or, you know, at McDonald's in particular. I know of several employees all over the globe that handle food on a daily basis and they don't wear gloves. They don't wear their face protection gear like they're supposed to. You're supposed to air out your clothes, change clothes, wash your hands after you go out to smoke. You're not supposed to smoke and immediately come back in and touch someone's food. You're not supposed to do that. It's not okay, you know? Now, it's not because, ew, that's gross. It's because it's a serious health issue. You can make people really fucking sick. You can kill kids with some of the dumb shit you do out there. People, humans, you know, your little kid that got sick because they ate a bad apple. You're contributing to that. You're part of the problem if you do that kind of stuff. I'm not saying everybody, I'm not saying you watching technically did that. I'm just saying that people work in those kind of places that don't follow the basic rules. It's not because it's a rule. It's not because, oh, corporate hates us. It's because you can kill people. You can kill kids, innocent children. Think of your kids at home if you have kids. If you don't, then, you know, think of somebody you absolutely love and their kids, or, you know, or think of somebody you absolutely love as a kid. And if you're selfish and you only think of yourself, think of yourself as a kid. How would it have felt to fight for your life in the hospital? And maybe you have. I've fought for my life in the hospital several times because people are nasty and disgusting and can't follow basic rules. You know? So I don't like to eat out because we've been to, again, it was a McDonald's in particular right after the whole pandemic crap started. And, well, after it took off, it was technically like 2 years after it started because the whole COVID pandemic crap started in 2018 is when it started. It was somewhere in the beginning of 2018. Although in 2019, I started noticing, you know, early 2019, late 2018, early 2019, I started noticing that all the doctor's offices and stuff were saying, if you don't feel good, to come talk to us. And they started doing the questionnaires and stuff about, you know, oh, blah, 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 this, that. So that's not something they came up with after the pandemic started. That was something they were doing before there was technically a pandemic. So they knew what was coming. They were pre-warned. Now, I'm not saying they were pre-warned as in, hey, we're going to mess with the country. They were pre-warned as in China was having these issues back in early 2018. That's where I remember it starting. It could have started somewhere else. You know, we don't actually know. They are one of the biggest people, you know, group of people. They are one of the biggest countries out there to trade with the rest of the world. They do a lot of trade. They make a lot of shit for everybody around the world. You do not have anything in your life that isn't, you know, there's something in your life. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you live. I don't care how remote. There is something in your life that you have that was made in China. So they're one of the biggest world trade groups in the entire world. You know, it's massive. It's big. They're big. They make a lot of money. A lot of countries are in debt with them. Anyway, that's all political. I don't care about the political. Point being is that after it kind of started, before they started telling people, oh, wear a mask, we went to, regular people. They were telling workers and stuff, if you work with food and stuff, you're supposed to wear a mask anyway. Mind you, that's not a pandemic thing. You're supposed to wear gloves and a mask when you're handling people's food, and I'm telling you here and now, most of them don't. But during the pandemic, it was even more instilled. It was actually drilled upon. It's something you're supposed to do, people. Pandemic wasn't special about that. You're supposed to. But they decided to switch out their regular food handlers' gloves for nitros gloves. So every single person, and I'm sure a lot of people noticed, but didn't say anything. I myself and my husband both got sick. We puked so bad, so hard, because they were doing the burgers and stuff, but they did it with the nitros gloves. So, I mean, we don't go to fast food very often, and when we do, it's a pretty rare fucking thing. We haven't been to fast food since. We won't. We refuse. Because with the whole pandemic thing going, it's made people even more stupid. And then, the fact that it's a permanent lifelong disease and people are going and getting shots of a permanent lifelong disease, and now people are finally figuring out, hey, there are long-term consequences to having a lifelong disease that has no cure, and we just injected ourselves with it. Were none of you paying attention? I'm just wondering, were you paying attention at all to reality? Not what the news pops up, because we all know the news is fake. We all know, not all of it. See, that's the hard part. The news has so much lies in it, you can't tell what's true and what's not, because they lie. Whether it's intentional or not, I don't care. You could be a news reporter and, chances are you've lied. Whether it's on purpose or not, I don't care. You've lied. You've done it. You've lied to the world. So, a journalist, there are multiple things to a story. And unfortunately, journalism has never actually been journalism. Private investigations and stuff need to happen for that shit. Like, it's just beyond that. Okay? But if you work in a food factory and stuff, or you work in a restaurant or a fast food place, if you work in a grocery store and you're around food a lot, you're supposed to be wearing gloves and a mask. And not because of COVID. That's the way it's always been. Early 2000s when I started working and stuff, that was part of the contract. Read your fucking contract if you're gonna work somewhere. Don't bitch about, oh, they're making me wear this stuff. Read your contract. It's in it, you idiot. Quit making up excuses to decide you want to defy your, work people that you signed up to listen to, and quit making other people sick. Quit killing children because you're an asshat. Get it together. You're an adult. Act like one.